Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk about the return of one of my favorite shows on TV right now, Atlanta. So, let's talk! So Atlanta just came back for season 3. It just begun after a 4-year hiatus. This is one of my favorite shows on TV right now. It stars Donald Glover, Lakeith Stanfield, Brian Tyree Henry, and Zazzy Beets. And I saw the first 2 seasons actually last year. I didn't find them until about January of last year. I always heard that this show was amazing, and they weren't wrong. I love this show. It's some of the best writing on TV. A lot of it is done by Donald and Stephen Glover, who are both brothers, obviously. They do a phenomenal job writing the show. It is one of the most brilliantly written comedies and dramas on TV. It really finds a blend. The way the show was sold to me was that it was just like Twin Peaks. Now, I wouldn't say that, but I could see where they're saying, like, the world that they create, it really is mind-bending like Twin Peaks is, but it is not like Twin Peaks. It's a lot more funny. It really is speaking on, like, what the world is today. I really think that they do a phenomenal job of speaking, like, what people have to deal with on a day-to-day basis on this show. They do a really good social commentary, and it is still laugh-out-loud funny. That's why Brian Tyree Henry is amazing as Paperboy. He is my favorite character on the show. He is just so funny. He is the comic relief, I believe. Even though they're all really funny, he is the funniest, and he's the comic relief to a lot of the drama that goes on in the show, as well as Lakeith Stanfield, who is one of my favorite actors right now. I love Lakeith Stanfield. He's an Oscar-nominated actor, and he's still appearing on Atlanta right now. It is so good. He's so perfect for this. Zazzy Beets is amazing. I love her. Everything she shows up in, and again, I'm going to plug it because I love that movie. 9 Days from Last Year is my favorite movie of 2021, and she is a starring role in that, so if you haven't seen that, check that out. And as far as this show goes, it is just so good, and we finally got season 3, so let's jump right into what I thought of season 3 episodes 1 and 2, which the first episode is called 3 Slaps. And you have to really hand it to, we're going to talk spoilers on both episodes 1 and 2, so if you haven't seen them, please watch them and come back. I'll actually just give you guys my quick thoughts on both of these 2 episodes. They are awesome. They are amazing episodes, and it really takes Donald Glover. That this show's been off for 4 years, and the first episode back from their hiatus is an episode that doesn't even feature any of them until the very last scene. You see Donald Glover waking up from a dream. And that's it. The rest is just totally different characters. And this episode was so tough. It's just 2 women adopt a boy who he's in school, and you know, the guidance counselor sees how his mother and his grandfather are treating him. 3 slaps is referring to the 3 slaps that his grandfather gives him in front of the guidance counselor, who then whispers to him, "Don't worry, I'll get you out of this." Her intentions are well. The problem is that he gets placed into a social, he gets placed through the system, and then he's placed with 2 white lesbian mothers who then who adopt black children. And from what they're showing us is, you know, like, this is supposed to be a step up for him. This is supposed to be him getting on the right track, but no, this is 10 times worse. He hates the food they're giving him, and these women are terrible. Despite putting on the onset like they're caring for these kids, they do not. They are basically making these kids slaves. They're making him do all the gardening, and at one point it is so uncomfortable. They make him sing a slave tune, like, while he's out there picking, like, the plants, and it's so messed up. And then one of the scariest moments ever in anything. Like, this is scarier than any horror movie, this episode. The kid runs up to a cop to tell him what his parents are doing, and it just shows that because these 2 women are white and the cop is white, he's like, I think he's just tired. Like, tired? Like, listen to the kid. They had no problem listening, taking him away from his black mother and his black grandfather, that's for sure. So it just showed you, like, how the system works, and it was so uncomfortable. I won't spoil the complete ending of the episode. I think you should see it. While watching this, I was so uncomfortable. I watched this with my wife, and we were just watching this, and we can't believe that something like this could possibly happen. Like, it is unbelievably written, unbelievably acted. All these actors are not regulars on the show, but just the fact that he came back after 4 years to tell this story is crazy, and it was an amazing story. It blew my mind. Like, I'm telling you, I was more uncomfortable watching this than I was watching any horror movie. Like, the first episode of this show for season 3 is incredible. And that's not a surprise. They have done like little horror episodes in the past. Like, they do bounce around on this show, and to start the season 3 with this is incredible. I really love this episode. I can't wait, for more. And then obviously we dive into season 3, episode 2, which follows it right after. And this is where we get more of the Atlanta main cast. And they're all in Amsterdam for this time, so that's a pretty nice little twist on things. And actually, it's funny because it starts like how season 1 started, where Paperboy got arrested in the beginning of season 1, and it shows the differences in the two jails. Like the Amsterdam jail, it's incredibly different. My wife tells me that there are jails like this where like they ask him what he wants for lunch. He's got a TV in his cell, and even like he gets released and he's like, I'm gonna have my lunch first and then I'll leave. But it does start to unwind into uncomfortable territory where they're showing that these people in Amsterdam are racist too. Like, at one point you see a Santa Claus go by, and on the back, I guess it's his kid, and he's got blackface on. And the taxi driver tries to blow it off as being like he fell down a chimney. That's like what they're trying to say, is like Santa's helper fell down a chimney and that's why they wear blackface. Obviously later in the episode we find out that is not true. They're all wearing blackface at his concert, and they felt okay with that, and obviously they're going to pull right out and not do it. And then we also have a side story going on with Lakeith Stanfield and Zazzy Beets. They're in Amsterdam together, just basically doing their own whole side story compared to what Donald Glover and Brian Tyree Henry's characters are doing. And they are at, I guess, I don't know what you would even call this, but they're there. Lakeith Stanfield the whole time is like, I'm a little high and everything. And he's like, basically thinking that I think that's Tupac. He thinks that's Tupac. He's like, it's just so great. Lakeith Stanfield does this all the time in Atlanta, though. He's in his own like mind and everything, and he plays like this certain type of character, and it's just so perfect. And Lakeith Stanfield's perfectly cast, and he's one of our best actors now. And the range on this man is so good. Between this, The Harder They Fall, Sorry to Bother You, Get Out, Knives Out. This is one of our generation's great actors. We will see plenty of Academy Awards coming from this guy. He was nominated last year, and on this show he's great. And then they show basically that this black man around all these white people, they put something around his face, they smother him to death. And I'm not too sure why. I've watched this episode 3 times now. I'm trying to analyze it to give you my best thoughts on it. I'm still a little confused. I actually, if someone could explain to me exactly the meaning behind that, if there's something that I'm missing, I just don't understand. Is it because he's a black man and all these white people like almost like sacrifice it as a religious thing? And they do have no problem doing this in front of Zazzy Beets and Lakeith Stanfield. It just blew my mind. But as far as these first 2 episodes go, 4 years has been kind to Atlanta. This is still one of, if not the best show on TV. If you haven't checked out Atlanta on FX, please do. They come to Hulu the next day. So if you watch them new episodes on FX, they are on Friday, but you can also watch them on Hulu if you have a Hulu description, FX on Hulu. Definitely check these out. There's only 23 episodes of the entire show. I've watched the seasons 1 and 2 numerous times. Some of the greatest comedy moments are from season 1. I got hooked on an invisible car. That joke, I'm not going to tell you the joke. Let me just tell you, the setup and the execution of this invisible car joke is comedy gold. It is one of the biggest comedic scenes I have ever seen. They started out one way, and if you just... a background joke will get me no matter what. But just trust me, when you hear something about an invisible car and they're in a club from the first season, if that doesn't hook you, I don't think you get the sense of humor of what Atlanta is, and it's not for everybody. But season 3, episodes 1 and 2, high recommendation from me. We'll come back next week and we'll review episode 3. This will be a spoiler discussion with each episode, and then following that we'll do a full discussion of season 3 of Atlanta. So as always, guys, thank you for joining me on one of these TV episode reviews. And as always, if you like this channel, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends.